Alright, hello, and welcome to another Looney video. Today we'll be looking at the history of Witch Hazel, and her cartoons during the golden age of Looney Tunes, of which there are 4. She is not to be confused with a Witch Hazel that appeared in a famous Disney short, Trick or Treat from 1952, where she was voiced by Looney Tunes regular June Foray. In fact, the Looney Tunes version of Witch Hazel was directly inspired by that cartoon. Just like in my other videos looking at the golden age of a character, we'll be looking at each short chronologically and see what changes were made over time. And I'll give my expert opinions on which shorts I like the best.
Your mother rides a vacuum cleaner!
Oh dear, there goes my supper.
1954's Bewitched Bunny marks the first appearance of Witch Hazel. It was directed by Chuck Jones and pairs Bugs Bunny with Witch Hazel. At the time, it was very popular to parody famous fairy tales, with Red Riding Hood being the most common to see, along with Goldilocks. But this time it was Hansel and Gretel, which we see Bugs reading at the beginning of the short.
And the nasty old witch planned to fatten the little boy and girl and throw them into the hot oven for her supper. Why, that dirty old...
The evil Witch Hazel managed to convince Hansel and Gretel into her cottage, with promises of sweets and candy. Gee, I kind of want her to kidnap me now. Although originally Jones did want June Foray to voice Witch Hazel, as she did so in the Disney short, it ended up being B. Benaderet to voice her for this short only, before June would take on the role in future shorts. B's Witch Hazel does end up sounding a little bit similar to her granny voice.
Rock-a-bye rabbit in the hot oven, into my mouth for dinner I'm shoving.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's Mel Blanc that voices Hansel, and B also voices Gretel in their fantastic Germanic tones. Rewatching this short and doing a deep dive allows me to be able to notice little puns and jokes I otherwise may have missed previously, such as the witchcraft ship in the background, and all the recipes that Witch Hazel wants to turn the children into. It's a really solid Bugs Bunny short. Maybe my favourite joke being when Prince Charming turns up in the wrong fairy tale.
Well, thanks large, Mac, for bringing me out of that. But you're looking for Snow White. Here's the story of Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel? Hansel?
As you would expect from Chuck Jones shorts, there is amazing facial expressions, particularly when Bugs eats the poisoned carrot. The only negative, I guess, is how it ends with Bugs Bunny using a magical powder on Witch Hazel, transforming her into a female rabbit, with the line, "But aren't they all witches on the inside?" It's not a bad ending joke, just one that doesn't really age too well. Overall though, I really enjoyed Bewitched Bunny. Great first appearance for Witch Hazel. I'm gonna score it an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm so deathly afraid of getting pretty as I grow older. Pretty?
Up next we have Broom-Stick Bunny, directed by Chuck Jones, released 2 years after Bewitched Bunny in 1956. Now we do see June Foray take over the voice of Witch Hazel, a role she would amazingly continue to do so off and on up until 2005, which is immensely impressive. At the end of the short, when Witch Hazel drinks her own concoction, she is transformed into a beautiful lady. This lady is actually a caricature of June Foray herself.
Magic mirror on the wall, who's the ugliest one of all?
Overall, Witch Hazel's appearance hasn't changed too much from Bewitched Bunny, but she does have more detail, and she maybe looks a little bit more ugly, although of course one's ugliness is subjective. It does become an important plot point in this story, with Witch Hazel wanting to be the ugliest of them all, only to be upstaged by Bugs, who is in a Halloween mask.
Boy, this trick-or-treating is a pretty nice racket. Pity it only comes once a year.
The biggest change is the backgrounds for this short, being very stylized and abstract, with furniture blended into the walls, it does allow the characters to really pop on screen. This is most apparent during the chase sequence, where the stairs are all uneven and going all over the house. What I do love about Witch Hazel is her genuine menacing threat. She is high up on the scale of potential threats towards Bugs, whereas Elmer, bless him, isn't really a threat towards him. This is up there as one of my favourite Bugs Bunny cartoons of all time. It does hold a lot of childhood nostalgia. For me, it's a 9.5 out of 10. Let's hope the trend of these shorts all being bangers continues in this upward trajectory, but I fear it won't last.
That's sharp enough to split a hair. Split a hair. No.
Goodbye.
Good grief.
Good riddance.
Our next appearance comes from 1959's A Witch's Tangled Hair. This time it'd be Abe Levital taking over directing duties. He only directed 7 shorts during his time at Warner's, with only 3 of those being solo, all of them in 1959. He mostly worked alongside Chuck as one of his lead animators, and would follow him over to MGM to help Jones direct everyone's favourite Tom and Jerry shorts. No sarcasm there at all. This would be the third and final time Bugs and Witch Hazel are paired alongside each other, although she does briefly appear as a cameo as one of the transformations of Count Bloodcount in 1963's Transylvania 6 to 5000. We do see the introduction of a new character for this short, a poet named Sam Krubish, who is trying to write a story and is left bewildered and confused by what he witnesses throughout the cartoon. And to be fair, if I saw this happen in real life, I would be confused as well. This does pay off at the end of the classic to be or not to be joke.
Remember you said to be.
I didn't say to be.
Yes, you said. To be or not to be. That is the question.
There is a return of a few running jokes, including Bugs getting into a pot, believing it to be a hot bath, which had appeared in many shorts previously, such as Hiawatha's Rabbit Hunt. Witch Hazel has also been missing the key ingredient of a rabbit in previous shorts, and is almost always seen making some kind of potion or stew in the classic cartoon cauldron.
Let Mother scrub your back. Mother.
Overall, the pacing is just a little bit off in this short. Not by a massive margin, but the gags aren't quite as quick and the sound design is slightly more simplistic. But there is still some really standout moments. Witch Hazel yeeting herself thinking she'll be caught by Bugs got a genuine laugh out of me. Also, for anyone wondering, this short is where this gif of Bugs looking crazy comes from. Overall, I do enjoy this one. It's not quite at the level of the previous 2, but I'd still give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Modesty is one of my girlish qualities. A cup of arsenic, a spider, some glue, a lizard gizzard, an eel's ear or 2.
There would be a long gap between appearances for Witch Hazel, but after 7 years she returned for 1966's A Haunting We'll Go, directed by Bob McKimpson. Crazy to think that even though she only appeared 4 times during the Golden Age, she was directed by 3 different people. This time she'll be paired with Daffy Duck, along with Daffy's nephew and Speedy Gonzales, in the often much maligned DePatie thrilling era of Looney Tunes, where the weird combo of Daffy and Speedy was very common.
Oh, but I must be the terrible hostess. Wait right here and I will go stir up some tea and goodies. She's not such a bad old lady. She might even be somebody's mother. Or father.
Hazel appears with more of a white skin tone compared to her usual green for this cartoon. It is noticeable that a lot of the animation is reused from previous appearances as well. We do see a callback with Daffy's nephew wearing the same mask Bugs wore in Broom-Stick Bunny as well. We do actually get double the witches though, as Hazel turns Speedy into her clone. I will admit, I did smile when I heard Speedy's voice coming out of Hazel's mouth, along with them speeding around the house. We even see a callback to Duck Amuck, which is my favourite Looney Tunes short of all time. Although, that kind of just makes me wish I was watching that cartoon instead. There are at least some ideas going on here, but it's so random and disconnected and everything just feels completely out of place. And there's also just too many characters that just don't work together. So yeah, this one isn't the worst I've ever seen, but it does get a 4 out of 10. So there we go, that was Witch Hazel's Golden Years, a perfect character for Halloween specials, and one of my favourite of Bugs' nemesis. I hope you enjoyed the video, let me know your thoughts in the comments, plus which characters would you like me to do a video on next. But for now, take care, and leave me alone.
Hello, Air Raid Headquarters? Well, you're not gonna believe this, but I just saw a genie with light brown hair chasing a flying sorceress.